Hi everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center for our Saturday edition of our 19 at 6 weather show. We do it every weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 6 o'clock, or I guess today a little bit later, but apologies for the delay. We are live wherever you stream. The 24/7 weather streaming channel, Facebook, fox19.com, YouTube, and as I mentioned, Facebook, not only the Fox 19 Facebook page, but also my Facebook page, at Emery WX. So good evening, everybody. Hopefully you've had a great Saturday. Hopefully you were able to get outside and enjoy this warmer weather as we broke into the low 40s. And in fact, the last day we were above freezing here in Cincinnati was back on January 18th, I believe. We had a high of 44 between the 18th and today. We've been below freezing with regards to high temperatures. Obviously below temperatures, well below freezing. Especially Wednesday morning, we had that low of 4 below. Not seeing that in the forecast anytime soon, though. That's some good news, right? Want to remind you, if you didn't see it at noon, it's available on our website, fox19.com/weather. You'll see a tab for our ahead of the storm weather specials. But if you missed it and you maybe not have internet, or maybe you just want to watch it live on the air, you can watch it on Wednesday, January 29th at 11:35. That's ahead of the storm, our First Alert Winter Weather Special. Got a big surprise on there. If you didn't see it there, I'm not going to spoil it. It's not my place to make that announcement or to tell you, but if you go on there and watch it, you will see that surprise for yourself. But a lot of cool stories on there. Didn't realize I was in it 3 times. I knew I was going to be doing 2 things. But we recycled an old story of mine about snow squalls. Really fascinating. You can check that out. You can check out my precipitation type story on there. Steve dives into how snowflakes form. A lot of cool stories. Again, want to check that out. Now let's go ahead and shift things over to our forecast first. I normally do this immediately, but with a slight delay, as well as wanting to promote this a little bit outside of the normal schedule. So let's just go and dive right into it. Our forecast first. We give you tonight, tomorrow, and the 7-day forecast. And of course, we'll dive into beyond the 7-day forecast here in a moment. But as our computer loads, you'll see here, tonight we are looking at temperatures falling down to about 28 degrees. Clouds are going to increase late to become cloudy late. And then for tomorrow, the bulk of the day, we are looking at a lot of cloud cover. Highs will be generally in the mid-30s. But we head into the 7-day forecast. Things are going to get warmer. So take a look at this. We got up to 39 for Monday, breezy and sunny. Tuesday, still breezy, sunny, high 45. Wednesday, 46. Maybe see an evening chance for a sprinkle, maybe a flurry after sunset. But otherwise, though, Wednesday does look dry. Thursday and Friday, looking at partly cloudy conditions. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 40s. And then by Saturday, breezy with showers and a high of 49 degrees. And spoiler alert, the 14-day forecast, we do see 50s here in Cincinnati. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But as you can see, we're not talking about any kind of winter storm, accumulating snow, nothing like that here in the next 7 days. So for those of you who are tired of the snow, this might be an encouraging forecast for you, if you will. So definitely looking at a positive forecast for us here in the tri-state. Let's go take a pause real quick and look at some of the different cameras we have here on this evening. As I was walking up here, running a little bit behind, I noticed the sunset was kind of a fiery color, very beautiful. May not capture it on some of these cameras here, but we can definitely see the sun has set here, at least on our Fox 19 South Fairmount camera. We can switch it over to our Newport Levy camera, which is a little bit of on a delay. There it is. There's that beautiful sky, beautiful colors. And do note some of these high, thin clouds. You got some contrails from the jets that are moving through, just water vapor there. But this cloud cover is going to continue to increase as we go into tonight. But again, this is a beautiful shot of the Queen City and nice colors with that setting sun. But right now, temperatures are still 39 degrees. So I don't want to call it warm. Our average high is 40. This is normal, but considering how cold it's been, it feels kind of nice. I didn't even wear a jacket today, I'll be honest. I did not need to wear a jacket. It felt that nice to me, which is a problem, considering that this should be cold, but it hasn't been that cold, or this doesn't feel as cold as what it was earlier this week. No doubt about that. Switch it over to our Turfway Park camera. Again, you see some of those upper level clouds moving in. Looks like they got a race going on here coming up soon at Turfway. And again, temperatures there, 39 degrees. And lastly, our Mount Auburn camera looking towards, over towards Walnut Hills. Temperatures right now, again, in the upper 30s there. Let's take a look real quick on radar and satellite. Again, we are looking at just quiet conditions. We're not talking about any rain in the forecast for us. In fact, I know last week, actually it was 1 week ago from today, there were talks on social media, there were models that were indicating that we could see active weather here. That's nonsense at this point, because we're just looking at, again, those increasing clouds. As we widen this out, you can see we've got this little wave of energy here. The problem with it is it's dying. It's going to be weakening as it moves in our direction. And as it does that, all it's going to do is deliver us some cloud cover and a brief cool down. Today's high was 41 degrees. Tomorrow's high is 37. So a slight knock on temperatures, but nothing that is too significant for us on Sunday. Still chilly, sure, but not as bad as what it's been, which I know that's probably been kind of what you've been hearing from me, hearing from Steve, hearing from Catherine, Frank over the last few days, that we've got warmer, milder air, however they phrase it. Still chilly though. So let's take a look at some of those temperatures here across the tri-state. Actually, before we do that, let's take a look at that almanac. I mentioned today's high was 41. It was after a really cold morning. Nailed it in the forecast. We had a forecast low of 15. We made it to 15 degrees, so you'll see it here. But today, we really did warm up. I think I had today's high at 38 degrees. I was teetering on going to 40 for this afternoon, but I kept it at 38. My thought process behind it, if you want to critique me and me being critical, I'm always continuing to analyze my forecast. Reason why I kept it at 38 as opposed to going to 40 was because whenever you have the sunshine, you have the breezy winds giving us some milder air, that warming with temperatures above freezing, the snowpack, or at least the remnants of the snowpack on the ground, cool air is released from that melting snow. And I was expecting that to at least keep temperatures down a little bit, but it did in fact exceed my expectations. So 41 this afternoon. But again, we've got warmer weather on the way. Tomorrow, just a slight knock in the temperatures just due to that little wave of energy moving through. It's a weak front. But looking at various airports here in the Fox 19 now viewing area, once this loads, you'll see here we are in the 30s. Still 40 though, over towards Batavia. 39 at the Lunken Airport as well as at CVG up in Hamilton. I think they fixed that issue at the Butler County Regional Airport. Good news, I was getting a little nervous because there was a few days there where it was showing some funky numbers, but not the case now. 39 there. 37 over in Middletown, also in Lebanon and in Batesville. Colder spot over towards Wilmington at 34 degrees. Up in Richmond, Indiana, just north of Union County, 32 here this hour. Looking at the winds. Winds have calmed down a little bit compared to earlier today, 5 to 15 miles per hour. No wind gusts, but we are looking at those wind chills or feels like temperatures in the upper 20s and low to mid 30s. Where the winds are calm, you can see those temperatures are exactly the same as air temperature because, of course, with no wind, there is no heat transfer where you feel colder. So we'll look at tonight and tomorrow's forecast, take a pause, look at those Facebook comments and questions, and then we'll continue on with our forecast. So right now we are looking at, again, temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. Tonight we will see those conditions fall down into the upper 20s. We are looking at clouds beginning to move in, upper level clouds, but we're not looking at anything too thick, at least for tonight. Now, we head into Sunday, we are looking at some thicker cloud cover moving in. Highs will be a little bit hindered to 37 degrees. So that is the rest of the weekend forecast, at least for us, with those conditions. So take a pause real quick, look at our Facebook comments, both the Fox 19 Facebook page as well as my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. All right, Susan says good evening. Good evening to you. Sarah says good evening, and everybody, hope everyone is having a good and safe weekend. Yes, good call, Sarah. Hopefully everyone is safe and enjoying the weekend. Susan says, I can't wait to watch your Ahead of the Storm show. Yeah, we had it at noon today, but of course, a lot of folks are doing stuff middle of the day on the weekend. But again, as I mentioned, if you want to watch it, you can go to fox19.com, go to the weather tab, and on the top row, there's like a bunch of different selections, and there should be one that says Ahead of the Storm Weather Special. If you can't see it there, I did post it on my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. You just scroll down a little bit, you'll see it there, and check it out. It's about 20 minutes, no ads, except for the beginning, but it's a continuation throughout of the special. Hope you like it. Molly says, good evening. Wow, what a little heat wave. Got a good picture of a bald eagle in Pleasant Plain, Ohio today. How do I send it? Fox19.com/pics. That's P-I-C-S. I'll be on the lookout for it. I'd love to show it tonight, or at least show it on social media, whether it be through our forecast video I'll be posting later this evening, or on our website at fox19.com. But yeah, to answer your question, Molly, fox19.com/PICS. That's how you can submit the photos. It allows us to not be threatening of getting sued. That's a corporate policy thing. And it allows us to share it without any issues of that, as well as giving the right credit to the right person. So just put your name down, put where you are, which I know you're at Pleasant Plain, and I'd be very happy to share that here on Fox 19. Molly says, yes, the sunset is beautiful. Sorry, I'm playing catch up with all the comments here. Mike says, thanks for the update. Tina says, great show. Thank you. Mia says, hello, everyone. Larry says, we had at least 41 here in Dayton. Yes, I think everyone from Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati, I think at least reached 40. So not too bad. Jeff says, hello from Hillsboro, Ohio, from New Market Road. Hey, I'm familiar with that. In fact, I was doing some ancestry research, and my 8th great-grandfather is buried on the beginning of Mad River Road at New Market Road. So I'm a Highland Countyan through and through. I'm the 9th generation Highland Countyan of Emery's, at least. So yeah, I'm very familiar. But that's awesome, Jeff. Shout out to you, and shout out to Hillsboro. All right, we're all caught up with the Facebook comments on Fox 19. Now look at my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. That way I don't forget you folks as well. And then we'll go ahead and move on with the forecast, which, mind you, pretty quiet. But we will talk about some winds and how warm it'll get, some uncertainty with the 14-day forecast, all coming up. Got 2 comments there. Clarine, my Meemaw, says it was a beautiful day today. It sure was. Darla says, good evening, Ethan. I watched your show this afternoon. I liked watching it and what you all explained. Hopefully you liked the surprise, too. It was about halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, if you caught that, Darla. That's all the comments on my Facebook page. Mia asking, can you also do live tomorrow? We do every day, or every weekend day, 19atSIX at 6 p.m. You'll see us here again tomorrow. Me. So now we're all caught up. We'll go ahead and move along here. And I know it's the weekend. Some folks might be traveling. I always try to show at least the regional travel forecast. That way, maybe you're traveling up to Columbus, seeing some friends up that way. Maybe you're going down to Lexington. We got a lot of friends down in Lexington. And then also Indianapolis. One of our producers actually got a new job at Indianapolis. Shout out to Rebecca. She started out as a weekend producer, worked with, trying to think, Allison, myself, Brittany, Courtney. I'm trying to think if there's any other weekend anchor that Rebecca worked with. I think it was also Chancellor Wynn when he was here. But Rebecca got a new job in Indianapolis. Shout out to her. Her last day was actually yesterday. Had a little celebration the other day. But looking ahead here, you can see wherever you're traveling, a lot of cloud cover. And temperatures are a little hindered. Mind you, our high tomorrow is around 37. 33, a little bit colder up in Columbus, 30 in Indianapolis. Charleston, West Virginia, 42. Lexington, 43. Nashville down to 50. That warmer weather. It's going to be heading closer and closer our way next week. Much colder, though, towards Chicago, 27 degrees up there. and then 34 in St. Louis. Can't forget St. Louis, the home of Brittany Harry, which I believe she is. I didn't see her in here earlier today. I think it might be Mike Shell anchoring tonight. But looking ahead here on our forecast model, actually no, I think she is coming in tomorrow or tonight, so we'll see her. Looking ahead here on our forecast model, you can see again those clouds increase overnight tonight into our Sunday. And Sunday we're keeping things cloudy. Now the temperatures on this map are, I'm not sure what they're coming from, but they're not exactly right. We got mid-30s showing up tomorrow afternoon. Then we head into Sunday night. Clouds will break away. Monday sunny, warming up into the mid to upper 30s. And then Monday night into Tuesday, maybe a few clouds, but nothing more than that. I mentioned winds. Now winds tomorrow, not an issue. Might feel a little bit colder because of the cloud cover and the fact temperatures take a little bit of a hit. But not looking at too strong of winds going into our Sunday. See here, winds are looking pretty light. We go into Monday, though. That's when we're going to begin to see those winds increase. So here we are, Monday afternoon, wind gusts close to 25 miles per hour, maybe close to 30 miles per hour in a few spots. Then we head into Tuesday. Breezy winds continue Monday night into Tuesday. Gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour will be with us here in the tri-state. And then we head into Tuesday. Winds won't be as bad Tuesday afternoon, but still a little breezy. Gusts at around 25 for Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening. Now when it comes to feels like temperatures, again, we're talking about milder air moving in, but there will be a little bit of a wind chill that'll be noticeable, at least enough for tomorrow and maybe on Monday. Let's go take a look at it now. So we go into tonight into Sunday. Wind chills in the teens and low 20s. Wind chill Sunday afternoon in the upper 20s and low 30s because there's not much wind. We go into Monday morning, wind chills in the teens. So even though we're talking about a warm-up, still keep in mind it's still going to be cold because wind chill values are going to be in the teens. So keep that in mind for the bus stop, for the kids. Keep that in mind for yourself as you're heading off to work or school or what have you Monday morning. And then Monday during the day, again, we got some sunshine, temperatures in the upper 30s. But even then, with those winds, wind chills will be in the 20s, mid to upper 20s it looks like at this point. And then at that point onward, wind chills will not be a huge factor, but feeling like the 20s heading into our Tuesday morning. Now look at our long-range computer model, and this is going to show us that we're pretty dry. So once this computer loads, you'll see that. We'll put it full screen for you. And again, tonight we are looking at some cloud cover rolling on through, but we're keeping it dry. Sunday, mostly cloudy for the day. Monday, we're sunny. And Tuesday, we are looking at a little wave up to our north. It dies off before it even reaches us. But then we head into Tuesday night into Wednesday. We've got another little wave moving through, and this wave gets a little bit further south. And as it does that, we could get clipped. And I mentioned this back on Friday on our 19 at noon weather show. But we could see maybe a sprinkle, maybe a flurry to our northeastern counties. I don't think this is going to reach Cincinnati Metro, but if you're traveling, say, Lebanon, Wilmington, Hillsborough, Greenfield, you might run into, or Sabina even, you might run into maybe a few sprinkles or flurries in the afternoon and evening. Does not look like anything problematic right now. But that's the best rain chance or even precipitation chance we see here for the remainder of the work week. You see Friday, though. Friday, clouds are going to increase. This is ahead of our next weather maker, and this will arrive on Saturday or Friday night late into Saturday. Models have been very consistent with this system moving in, and it looks like it's going to move in the form of rain. Now, initially, there might be a brief period of rain-snow mix, but temperatures will actually rise to where we're not looking at any impact from that snow, just melting, and then eventually we're looking at all rain moving in. So this is Friday afternoon on this forecast model. We go into Friday night. There it is, rain moving in. Saturday, widespread rain Saturday next week. And this is February 1st, by the way. It's 1 week from today. Rain. Good indicator that's warm, right? But we are looking at really warm conditions for February 1st and February 2nd. We'll go ahead and play this forward out in time a little bit more. You can see rain continues going into Groundhog Day Sunday morning. And Puxatawny Phil is going to get wet with rain out in Pennsylvania Sunday morning. And then Sunday, rain showers do begin to dissipate. And then we're looking at a pretty uncertain forecast going into the week of, or the first full week of February. Because we're really close on the edge of two different air masses. And we're really beginning to see the La Nina pattern take effect. And if you don't know what a La Nina pattern is, I'll show you that on a map here in a moment. La Nina basically means that this region generally sees above average precipitation, and generally temperatures are kind of unaffected. So temperatures are usually near normal. However, in this case, with this unsettled pattern kicking in, giving us rain, we're kind of on the cusp of two air masses. But right now, the models are trending a bit warmer heading into the beginning week of February. So you'll see here as we play this out, it's all going to go out to Tuesday. But do note on this here, you got snow here and you got warmer air here. And this is going to go back and forth, back and forth. So we might be running into days of perhaps a rain-snow mix going into the end of the following week. And we'll talk about that in our 14-day forecast coming up in a second. But let's go and give you that 7-day forecast while we're at it right here. And that 7-day forecast, again, looks pretty mild considering where we've been. In fact, the coolest day is tomorrow. We have a high of 37 degrees for our Sunday, mostly cloudy. Monday, mostly sunny and breezy, up to 39 degrees after a morning low of 19. Tuesday, 45, breezy, again, especially during the morning. Wednesday also looks breezy, maybe an evening chance to our northeastern counties, maybe a sprinkler, a flurry. 45 degrees the high, or 46, excuse me, that's for Wednesday. Thursday, partly cloudy, 42, a slight dip in temperatures, but nothing major. Friday, 44, those clouds increase, and then Saturday, breezy with rain showers, morning lows in the mid-30s, highs in the upper 40s. So that is the 7-day forecast. Before we get into the 14-day forecast, we'll take a look at those Facebook comments and see if there's any questions here in just a second. All right. Brenda says, hello from Aurora, Indiana. Good evening to you. Beautiful little town there, Aurora there, along the Ohio River. Frankie says, hello. Hello to you as well. Susan says, I hope the snow disappears on the ground soon. We are icy because of refreeze. Yeah, so we need to keep an eye on that, especially tonight with temperatures falling down below freezing and some of that snow melting today. So good mention there, Susan. So yeah, the next couple of days, as that snow melts, there could be some icy spots along the edges of the roads where the snow has been melting. So keep that in mind. But I will say that we are looking at days ahead where temperatures in the overnight hours will actually be above freezing. That being said, still want to be cautious with that, because as the snow piles exist, there's still going to be that risk of icy spots. Look at my Facebook page real quick. All right. All right, no new comments there. It's Saturday. Folks are probably out enjoying this sauna that's outside, right? Okay, here we go. This is a 7-day forecast. You can see there. Temperatures generally being above normal. Our normal high is around 40 degrees this time of the year. So, again, fairly decent warm-up coming up by the end of next week into next weekend. That's a 7-day forecast. Now, let's go beyond the 7-day forecast. And as you can see, there we go. We've got 50s. Groundhog Day, which is the next Sunday, or the following Sunday. So, not tomorrow, but the following. High of 54, rain chances then. Monday, Monday, February 3rd, high of 50, rain chances there. And then this is where we've begun to fall into that uncertainty. We're kind of on the cusp again of those two air masses where the uncertainty lies with the temperatures. And These will obviously play a crucial factor on what precipitation we'll see. We are looking at unsettled conditions in the region. Again, we're falling into that La Nina pattern. But right now, we're kind of on that cusp. And I'll show you that on a forecast model in a second. I've been bringing up La Nina, and I'll do an explainer of La Nina here in a moment. I want you to digest this a little bit longer. This is the 14-day forecast. So looking pretty warm for the weekend of February 1st and 2nd. And then temperatures are kind of fluctuating for that first full week of February. But do note that generally speaking, temperatures will be above normal. In fact, you'll see that here on our 7-day plus, which shows you all 14 days of the highs and lows, everything in between, as well as what is normal. So generally speaking, the majority of the next 14 days will be above normal. There's a couple of exceptions. The very end of the forecast, there on the 7th and 8th of February, we're really close to, if not just slightly below normal. And then also to the next couple of days, temperatures are on that cusp of being at or just slightly below normal. But other than that, the next 2 weeks, we are looking at above average temperatures there. And do note that both the high and the low normals are going up. If you need some kind of hope, you need some kind of thing to look forward to, you got that. And you got the fact that temperatures are looking pretty nice compared to what it's been. So that's good. All right, here we go. I mentioned La Nina pattern. That's what we're kind of beginning to see on these models going into the month of February. I will say Chief Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer, I mean, he's brilliant. Love working with him. But he nailed this. He talked about this with me, I remember back in November, that La Nina was going to be delayed. And La Nina is a climate pattern. So what is it? Well, our weather is actually directly influenced by what happens along the equator in the Pacific Ocean. So you get trade winds off of South America. It's these trade winds, they move towards Asia, so they're moving to the west along the equator, and it generally moves that warm water, that sea surface temperatures there. And as it does that, you get this upwelling of colder water that goes up to the surface of the Central Pacific, or the Eastern Pacific along the equator. And this has a direct correlation to how our climate pattern is in the U.S. And what this does is it allows the movement of the jet stream. So you have two different jet streams in the winter especially that influence our forecasts. You've got the Pacific jet and you got the polar jet. The polar jet separates that cold, back that up. Polar jet stream separates the two air masses of the Arctic air, the colder air, and the more mild air, the more temperate air mass that is over much of the U.S. And when you have those colder waters in the Pacific, it influences these jet streams. So what you get here is you get the Pacific jet kind of colliding with the polar. My goodness, this touchscreen is something else. Okay, so you end up getting this kind of collision here, the Pacific and polar jet. And what this usually does for us is it kind of forces this unsettled pattern right over the Ohio Valley region. Now, over the winter, it looked kind of like we could be in a La Nina, but it wasn't strong enough, and it didn't have that signaling enough for us to get all of that unsettled patterns. We did, however, get this colder air mass over us, obviously, for much of this month of January. But now things are beginning to shape up where we are looking at this wetter pattern beginning to formulate, and as it's doing that, we are looking at temperatures getting closer to normal. So we're not looking at that big Arctic air mass kind of sitting over us as much as it was for the last couple of weeks. So we are going to be looking at wetter conditions with La Nina, which La Nina looks to be with us for February, March, and April at least. That's what the data is suggesting. So for the rest of winter pretty much and the beginning of spring, things do look to be wetter than normal for us here in the Ohio Valley. Don't believe me? Well, let's look at the folks from the Climate Prediction Center who do these temperature outlooks. And just to support my evidence, we'll go take a look at those right now. So as this loads, you'll see that we are looking at above normal temperatures here across the Ohio Valley. There you have it. We're on that cusp. Now, this is going out to the next 2 weeks, the end of the 14-day forecast. And I was telling you, we're on that cusp. We're between those two air masses. This is doing a brilliant job explaining that. Above average temperatures, more than likely expected here for the lower Ohio Valley, Appalachia, the southeast, and over towards the mid-Atlantic. Colder than normal conditions are expected into the further Midwest, Great Lakes region, High Plains, Central Plains, and over to the Rockies. So you get these two air masses here. Remember that, that map I just showed you of the polar jet? So the polar jet is moving this way. So you kind of see that influence, that colder air moving in to the high plains. It's a little bit further east, though. Take a look at this, though, with precipitation. Here you have it. You're beginning to see that setup of above average precipitation over the Ohio Valley. Now, this does also introduce more precipitation for folks over to the high plains as well as into the Rockies with that polar and Pacific jet sort of colliding. But generally speaking, we got a pretty unsettled pattern setting up here over the next 2 weeks. When it comes to temperatures, we're looking to stay pretty close to, if not just above normal, going into basically the middle of the month of February. Now, that being said, our overnight lows are still below freezing, so that's where the uncertainty lies of, will we see mostly rain or could we see a rain-snow mix event? Right now it looks like generally more speaking rain, but do note that we are looking at, regardless, bullseye of moisture, which if you remember what I just showed you with the La Nina explainer, this is very typical of La Nina. And I don't know if the banner is going to say, okay, cool. So this is the next 3 months. And as I mentioned, the next 3 months, we are looking at temperatures being close to, not just above normal, but I really wanted to show you the seasonal outlook because La Nina, it looks to stay with us at least through April. And something that Chief Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer and I were discussing, something to keep a close eye on is late February, early March, we might get an early start to severe weather season. I'm just telling you what Steve told me, and not to mention the evidence is really kind of pointing towards warmer conditions. You get this influence from the Gulf moist air moving in where temperatures will likely be a little bit warmer, enough for rain, and we could get enough storm energy where we could be looking at the potential for thunderstorms. But of course, that's really far out. You really can't pinpoint anything about the impacts and stuff like that. Right now, it's just, that's over a month away. You can just kind of see like, hey, there's a little bit of a pattern that might favor that. And at this point, what we can tell you is just got to wait and see. When we know, you'll know here at Fox 19 when it comes to any kind of potential for storms or snow or anything like that, which we don't have either in our 7-day forecast. That's nice. Wednesday could see maybe a few sprinkles or flurries to our northeastern counties, Warren, Clinton, Highland County. Otherwise, though, looking pretty dry through the work week, but Friday night into Saturday, rain does move in. And temperatures during the afternoon will be above freezing. All right, here we go. Got a couple of comments here on the Fox 19 Facebook page. Diane says, hello from Loveland, Ohio. I love Loveland. Nice folks at the city of Loveland. A lot of nice businesses there uptown. And I just love going whenever I can. There's a cute little bookstore at a coffee shop. I think they moved recently, and I forget the name of the store. I got a couple books from them, but my New Year's resolution this year is to read more books. Not at a good start so far this month. I've been really busy, but I have a book I'm trying to get into and complete here in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully I can get that accomplished. You gotta not just hope, but do it when it comes to goals. David said just rain, right? Yeah, that's what it looks like, at least in the forecast. I mentioned the 14-day forecast. There's some of that uncertainty, so we've got to keep an eye on that. It's just because of those temperatures, but generally speaking, temperatures do look to be at or above normal. Okay, let's take a look at my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX before we conclude this edition of our 19atSIX. Oh, I see. Molly is commenting here. So Molly said that they sent the photos to the First Alert Weather app. That should be the same. I can't guarantee it. I just went ahead and responded to you with the actual link. Hopefully that link works for you. If it doesn't, send me an email, ethan.emery@fox19.com. Betty asking, will it get warmer? Yes. Yes, it's going to get warmer. I showed the 14-day forecast a little bit ago. 50 show up on Groundhog Day. So that's something nice to look forward to, Betty. And so we've got that coming up. Okay, so I believe we are all caught up with all the Facebook comments. We've been on here for over 30 minutes. I want to stay on at least over 30 minutes, considering I came on here just a little late. But at this point, we are going to go ahead and conclude our 19atSIX weekend weather show. So thank you so much for those of you who joined us tonight. We'll be on tonight after the basketball game right here on Fox 19, giving you that First Alert forecast update. And of course, if you missed us, we've got you covered on fox19.com/weather, the First Alert Weather app, and of course our 24/7 weather streaming channel. If you missed that, tomorrow morning, meteorologist Jeff Creighton is going to be still here, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And of course, if you want to sleep in on Sunday morning, I'll be back here, same time, same place, same content. 19atSIX, our weather show we do, again on Saturdays and Sundays. Have a great Saturday. Be safe. If this is still too cold for you, stay warm. If not, enjoy the warm-up we've got coming up in the 7-day forecast, and have a wonderful evening.